Welcome back, kings. Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone truly believed in you? Not the polite, yeah, good luck with that kind of support. I'm talking about real belief. The kind where someone invests their time, their money, their reputation into your success. For most of you watching this, the answer is never. Or maybe it's been so long you've forgotten what it feels like. You've got dreams that people call unrealistic, goals that make your family worried, ambitions that your friends secretly mock behind your back. And every single day you're building something while the people around you treat it like a hobby that'll fade. Here's what I realized after studying everyone from self-made billionaires to people who climbed out of absolute nothing. The ones who made it without support didn't win despite being alone. They won because of it. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same. By the time this video ends, you'll see your isolation in a completely different light. Stick with me. First, let's get brutally honest about something nobody wants to admit. Most people in your life don't actually want you to succeed. I know. That sounds harsh, maybe even paranoid, but hear me out. Your coworker who says, "That's cool," when you mention your side business. They don't want you to quit and earn more money than they do. They don't know who's always too busy to help, but never too busy to hang out. They like you exactly where you are. Even your family, the people who love you, they're comfortable with the version of you they know. The struggling version, the predictable version. Your success would disrupt their entire worldview. It would force them to confront their own lack of action. And psychologically, humans hate that feeling. So they don't support you. Not because you're going to fail, but because they're terrified you might actually succeed. And once you understand this, something shifts. You stop taking it personally. You stop waiting for their permission. You stop explaining yourself to people who are never going to get it anyway. See, there's this thing in psychology called self-determination theory. It says that people who are internally motivated, meaning they do things because they want to, not for approval, massively outperform people who need external validation. Think about it. Who works harder? The person trying to prove themselves to a supportive mentor who already believes in them? Or the person working in complete silence, fueled by the memory of everyone who said they couldn't? When you have no support, you're forced to find your why internally. And that internal fire, it doesn't burn out when people stop clapping. It doesn't fade when the compliments stop coming. It burns hotter, longer, and it's entirely under your control. Here's where it gets interesting. When nobody's watching you, when nobody cares what you're doing, you've got something that successful people pay millions for: total freedom to experiment. You know why most startups with huge funding fail? Because they have investors breathing down their necks. Board members are questioning every decision. Advisors who all want a say. They're paralyzed by too many opinions. But you can try things, fail quietly, pivot without anyone calling you a quitter, completely reinvent your approach without having to send an email update to stakeholders. This is what I call strategic invisibility, and it's stupidly powerful. I remember reading about this tech founder who spent 2 years building in his garage. No social media posts, no networking events, no entrepreneurship journey vlogs. People thought he'd given up. Some thought he was lazy. His own friends stopped asking about his project because they assumed it died. Then he launched, and within 6 months, he had a multi-million-dollar exit, The reporter asked him, "Why didn't you share your progress?" And he said something I'll never forget. "Why would I invite spectators to watch me figure things out? They'd see every mistake, every wrong turn, every moment of doubt. Instead, I let them see the finished product. By then, their opinions didn't matter." That's cold, that's calculated, and that's exactly what you need to adopt. Your lack of support isn't a weakness. It's a cloak of invisibility. Nobody's stealing your ideas. Nobody's copying your moves. Nobody's sabotaging your progress, because nobody knows what you're building. Work in the dark. Build in silence. Let success make the noise. Now let me talk about something uncomfortable. Something you might not want to admit. Every person who doubted you gave you a gift. I'm not talking about that toxic positivity. Everything happens for a reason. Garbage. I'm talking about pure psychological fuel. You remember that person who laughed at your idea? The family member who said, "Be realistic"? The friend who's doing better than you and made sure you knew it? Your ex who said you'd never amount to anything? You remember exactly what they said, word for word, and it still stings, doesn't it? Good. Because that pain, that's premium fuel, and most people waste it. They try to forgive and forget. They try to let it go and move on. And sure, that's healthy for therapy. But for winning, you need to remember, there's actually research on this. It's called revenge bedtime procrastination. Well, that's different. But there's legitimate studies on spite as a motivator. Turns out, people who are motivated by proving others wrong often outperform people motivated by positive reinforcement. Why? Because positive motivation fades. Someone tells you, you can do it, and you feel good for a day. But someone tells you, you'll never make it. That lives rent-free in your head forever. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. He remembered the coach's name for the rest of his life. He used it. Every practice, every game, every championship. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. She's worth billions now. And you know she remembers that person's face. 50 Cent got shot 9 times. Instead of quitting, he named his first album Get Rich or Die Tryin' and became one of the biggest rappers alive. I'm not saying become obsessed with revenge. I'm saying use it, channel it. When it's 11 p.m. and you're exhausted and you want to quit, remember their faces. Remember their words. Remember how they counted you out. And then work for 1 more hour. Here's a mistake I see all the time, especially in America where we're obsessed with personal branding. People without support spend all their energy trying to get support. They're posting on LinkedIn about their journey. They're networking constantly. They're trying to convince people to believe in them. And every single day they're not getting the validation they're seeking. They're dying a little inside. Listen to me carefully. Stop performing. You are not a TikTok creator documenting your entrepreneur journey. You're not building a personal brand. You're trying to win. And these are 2 completely different things. Posting about your goals feels productive. It's not. It's a dopamine hit that tricks your brain into thinking you made progress. Talking about what you're going to do activates the same reward centers as actually doing it. That's neuroscience. So when you tell people your plans, your brain thinks you already accomplished something, and your actual motivation drops. There's this famous study where they tracked people with goals. Group A told everyone their goals. Group B kept them private. Group B was significantly more likely to achieve them. Why? because Group A got social rewards just for having goals. Group B only got rewards from the results. So here's what you do instead. Go dark. Delete the Instagram stories about your grind. Stop posting your wins. Stop seeking validation from people who weren't there for the struggle. Build something real, something undeniable, something so successful that people can't help but notice. And when they finally do, when they finally say, "Wow, I didn't know you were doing this," don't say, "Yeah, I've been trying to tell you." Just smile and say, "Thanks." Because by then, you won't need their validation anyway. You'll have something better, and that is results. Now, I'm not saying become a complete lone wolf. That's not smart. That's just stubborn. What I'm saying is, be selective, ruthlessly selective. You know what's crazy? Most Americans have dozens of people they call friends, people they grab drinks with, people they follow on social media, people they've known since high school. And how many of those people would actually help them move? Lend them money in an emergency. Give them honest feedback that hurts. Maybe two, if they're lucky. So stop collecting people. Start curating a small circle of people who bring actual value. I'm talking about 3 types of people. First, people with skills you don't have. A designer, a marketer, a coder. Someone who can do what you can't. This isn't friendship. It's a strategic partnership. You help them, they help you. Clean transaction. Second, people who are ahead of you. Not mentors necessarily, but people actually doing what you want to do. Study them, learn from them, and if they'll give you time, absorb everything. Third, someone who tells you the truth, not a cheerleader. Someone who'll say, "That idea is terrible," or "You're screwing this up." This person is rare. When you find them, hold on tight. Everyone else, they're optional. I know that sounds cold, but you have limited time, limited energy, and limited resources. You can't afford to waste any of it on people who drain you. This is Machiavellian thinking. But Machiavelli was right about one thing. When you're trying to win, loyalty without value is just expensive friendship. Let's talk about the hardest part. The part nobody wants to discuss. You're going to fail, probably multiple times. And when you do, there won't be anyone there to catch you. No support system means no safety net. When things go wrong, you're going to feel it completely. The financial hit, the emotional crash, the voice in your head that says, "Everyone was right about you." And this is where most people quit, because failing alone is terrifying. When you have support, you've got people telling you, "It's okay, try again." You've got someone buying you dinner when you're broke. You've got emotional cushioning. You don't have that. So here's what you do instead. You treat failure like data, not as evidence that you suck, not as proof that you should quit, just as information about what doesn't work. Thomas Edison tested thousands of materials before finding the right filament for the light bulb. Nobody remembers the failures. They remember the light. Every successful person you admire failed more times than you've even tried. The difference? They failed privately. They processed it quickly, and they moved on. There's a concept in psychology called emotional immunity. Every time you survive something difficult alone, you get stronger. Your tolerance for pain increases. Your ability to recover gets faster. Supported people collapse when their support disappears. You're already operating in that mode. You're already anti-fragile. So when you fail, and you will, feel it, all of it. Sit with the disappointment, the embarrassment, the fear, and then get up, alone. the same way you've done everything else, because that's your superpower. You don't need anyone to pick you up. You never did. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. Winning without support is harder. It's lonelier. Some nights you're going to question everything. You're going to wonder if you should just give up and live a normal life like everyone else. But here's what makes it worth it. When you finally win, and you will if you keep going, that victory is 100% yours. Nobody can take credit. Nobody can say I always believed in you when they actively didn't. Nobody can rewrite history. Your success will be pure, undiluted, completely earned. And the person you'll become in the process, unstoppable, self-reliant, immune to rejection, fueled by an internal fire that never needs validation. That's not just success, that's freedom. So if you're watching this and you feel alone in your goals, if nobody's supporting your dreams, if people think you're crazy for trying, good. You're exactly where you need to be. Now get off YouTube and go build something they can't ignore. And hey, if this resonated with you, if you're serious about winning on your own terms, hit that subscribe button. Because I make videos for people like us. The ones who don't have a choice but to make it happen alone. The ones who turn isolation into ammunition. Welcome to the channel. Now let's get to work.